Now we come to the Sumerian legends. In the preparation of the huge boat, Utu, Methuselah, brought his rays of the sun into the boat in order to give it light. In California, again, regarding that device resembling a spark plug found inside sedimentary stone, examination showed an outer hexagon layer of an unknown substance enveloping a 3/4 inch wide cylinder made of solid porcelain or ceramic. Circling the ceramic cylinder were rings of copper. In the center of the cylinder was a 2-millimeter shaft of bright metal. The shaft was magnetic. The magnetic shaft was corroded at one end, but the other end was affixed to a spring or helix of metal. The finely shaped ceramic and metallic shaft and copper components hint at some form of electrical instrument. This find, like so many others, is not generally publicized. It is considered too disturbing. In India, a high tower over a tomb discharged lightning against anyone who approached, striking them dead. Israel, 1000 B.C. The house of Solomon the king was illuminated as by day, for in his wisdom he had made shining pearls, which were like unto the sun, the moon, and the stars in the roof of his house. A door knocker that shocked unwelcome visitors pushed a discharge button in his study that sent an electrical current into the iron knocker on his door. In Egypt, a wall carving depicts a scene where attendants seem to be carrying giant light bulbs with interior filaments in the shape of snakes connected to a box or switch with braided cables, and which strongly suggest powerful electric lamps supported by high-tension insulators. The cables are an exact copy of engineering illustrations as currently used. The cable is shown as very heavy and striated, S-T-R-I-A-T-E-D, striated, indicating a bundle of many multi-purpose conductors rather than a single high-voltage cable. In Egypt, in an Isle temple, Isis temple, a lamp burned with neither wind nor water, and which neither wind nor water could extinguish. Until the invention of electric lighting in 1890, we possessed only candles, torches, and oil lamps, light sources which smoked and left sooty deposits on ceilings. Likewise, the Greek and Roman world used torches and oil lamps for illumination. And wherever passageways are still standing between ancient buildings, traces of smoke can be found on the ceilings. How then do we explain the following? In Egypt, no trace of smoke is found in any Egyptian pyramid or in the subterranean tombs of the pharaohs, which are beautifully carved and painted in several colors. Work of this precision and delicacy requires the equivalent of daylight. Some tunnels and passageways are too complex for a mirror system to have brought sufficient light into the inner chambers. In Western Europe, the walls and ceilings of certain painting caves show no traces of torches or of oil lamps. In Peru, low ceilings and passageways of Inca and pre-Inca ruins show no evidence of smoke blackening. In Brazil, explorer Fawcett found ancient dwellings and dead cities of the Mato Grosso devoid of lamp smoke. In Egypt, Babylon as early as 2000 B.C., Central Australia, China, and Bulgaria as early as 3000 B.C., electroplated objects have been found, indicating the use of electricity. Now that's an important one. It's important because electroplating is something that's recent. That's where we have a process that we can take gold, for instance, and we can plate that gold onto say, a silver fork, or we can plate it onto some other object, and we can make it appear like the object is gold or silver by electroplating. Now, when you go into the archaeological digs and you pull an object out of King Tut's tomb and it's been electroplated, when you go into Egypt, Babylon, Central Asia, China, and Bulgaria, and we're not just talking about one isolated civilization like Egypt, and gee, look how smart they were. They not only had it in Egypt, they had it in Babylon, they had it in Central Australia, they had it in China, and they had it in Europe. Electroplating was known all over the world. Now, I don't know that we know that it's there in North and South America, but it's on every other continent. Now, that's quite a find. Why isn't that being put? Why aren't those objects being put on display in our museums? Why aren't we being told about that in our colleges and universities? That's a pretty significant find. Now, up until this particular item, this is number 12, in this section here on electricity, you could sit there and say, well, there's no smoke found in any Egyptian pyramid. That doesn't mean they had electricity. Let's think about that for a second. You get here into these pyramids, and it's hundreds of feet of tunnels that you have to go through in order to get into this tomb. You get into the tomb, and here is very fine, delicate artwork. Not something that somebody just pasted on the wall. It's a stick figure, that somebody painted on there. And this art thing over here, and I'm not an artist, so I didn't know this, but this art over here, you can actually grade this. You can determine how advanced a civilization is by looking at their art. And the artwork that we find in these ancient pyramids, in these ancient ruins, is superior to anything until the Middle Ages.